So welcome back to my show. Um, let's go into detail. Why did you decide to be the founder of your Empower Girls organization?
Yeah, so for the last 3 years now, I should say, since 2020, I've been, very passionate about gender bias inclusion in the media. And basically growing up, I always, struggled finding myself on TV and especially in the media. I couldn't find myself or exactly what, I want to be exactly. I always thought like, oh, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, like what's going on. I don't see myself as a person. But then as I got older, I started to realize like, okay, this is happening. There's not a lot of women on screen and everything. And so once I became a Gina Davis fan back in 2020, I it made me realize that I wasn't alone and this is actually a problem because of course with growing up I didn't know it was a problem. I was like, oh, I'm young. I gotta really know what it is.
Mhm.
Like, of course, with people being young, we're not sure what's going on. Like, I didn't even know what gender bias was before the pandemic, to be honest with you. So with being a Gina Davis fan, I started to do tons of research from her institute, Gina Davis Institute of Gender Media. If you want to check it out, I totally recommend checking it out. And so once I found out, like, okay, this is gender bias and everything, I was like, I became so passionate about it that I started advocating on my social media and everything, starting back in I believe 2021. I started posting on social media about it after I started my podcast. And then last summer,
Mm.
2022, I came an idea and I was like, why not just start an organization? Because of course, with my podcast, I always talk about it, like on the podcast and have guests on like to talk about these topics. But I want to, start something other than my podcast because of course not a lot of people like listening to podcasts for like 30 minutes. Like, people are probably not like into podcasts. Not everyone, but some people are. So I thought it might be a little easier to help me, get the mission and, name out there, like to help, tell people about this. And if, like, as long as I'm, like, my number one mission really when coming into this is really just like using my voice in what's going on
Mhm.
in the world and helping people, especially young girls, grow up to have a role model and stuff. Because like especially on screen, because growing up I didn't really have that, especially having a role model on screen like I do now. So I want to, start an organization. So I started that back at Power Girls back in 2022 and we host a bunch of programs and everything. But yeah, like it really, what I know that was a very long answer, but it really was, all about, Gina Davis that really, started everything for me.
And what is your dream goal for this organization?
My dream goal, probably turning it into a nonprofit. Like
Mm.
not currently a nonprofit yet, but I'm currently, in the process of possibly making a nonprofit. So probably the dream goal as of right now is definitely turning it into a nonprofit.
And then, of course, you're a mental health person. Is this also because of the Empower Girls as well?
Well, a little bit, not much, because growing up I had severe anxiety. And it was like I was very shy human being. I would never talk to anyone. I was always like on my parents' legs, don't want to talk to anyone. Like I was just like I was very self-conscious myself because I didn't want to talk to anyone. And kind of some people kind of took it seriously, be like, why is she not talking to me? Like, what's wrong with her? And but well, it wasn't because of them. It was just because of me being shy and not wanting to talk to people. And
Hmm.
so growing up, that really my mental health was on and off, like with things going on in my life personally. And then as I got older, I was later diagnosed with anxiety and I got very bad depression in 2020 and a little bit now due to my health at the moment. So, with having anxiety and depression really did go into my organization because we just had a mental health event, the world of mental health for girls. So we just hosted a few weeks back And so it really kind of does, but I would love to really have girls speak out about
Hmm.
their mental health and not be ashamed. Is when I was dealing with my mental health, anxiety, depression back in 2020 during the pandemic, I was ashamed of talking about it. So I just wanted to kind of with that event and also a little bit with our organization to really have have young girls around the world really share their experiences, no matter their circumstances. Because who knows, someone might be going through the same thing, they might connect, and also their story might empower others as well to speak up about their stories as well. So it kind of does align, but also aligns with my mental health journey
Right.
personally, and also both with Power Girls and helping
Hmm.
others.
And do you hope and that your Empower Girls organization goes to all 50 states?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Currently, it's kind of a low, basis, I should say, right now. But I'm currently, working on to expand out to these states. I was currently starting a mentor program through Power Girls, from November to I think April or June around that time. I forget what the ending is. I think probably April, where the mentorship program is. So really, it really has, made a huge impact so far with some people, but it hasn't reached all 50 states yet currently, but I hope it all does with the measured program and everything we have to offer.
That's great. And then of course, you're the founder, and do you have anybody helping you in this organization or just you?
A little bit. It's mostly on my own. But I also have some couple board of directors that help me as well. But do have um some writers that help me write blog posts, like Anna Morris. She helped me write one. My board of director B Ray Donovan has wrote a couple for us, and some other people. So it really, there's some people that has helped us along the way, but it's mostly me doing everything. But there has been some people along the way that has helped,
Right.
which is amazing.
That's a lot of stuff on your shoulder. Being
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot,
right.
yeah. It takes a toll, to be honest with you, to have to do everything on your own, but,
Right. Because
with expanding power goals in the future, maybe I have much more help, so I won't have to do everything on my own.
right. And I can tell, of course, you do some interviews as well. So,
Mhm,
for your Empower Girls organization. And,
mhm.
and that's amazing as well. So now where do you also think about starting another organization for mental health?
Currently, no, due to be having so much on my plate currently. But there's always a possibility in the future of having a mental health event. Like, of course, mental health hits, close to home for me, my family. So, um, as of currently, no, at the moment, but maybe next year or next couple of years, maybe we'll start another one. Who knows? But mental health has always, been a big part of my life. So maybe outside organization or podcast or something. But
Hmm.
who knows? It's all up in the air.
All right, that's good. I think it's a good idea to start organization or a nonprofit to help people out there with mental health, depression,
Yeah,
anxiety,
yeah, for
and
sure.
et cetera. So, and who is your biggest mentor that helps, who you looked up to through this mental health, and who kind of helped you start this nonprofit organization? I mean, I know it's not nonprofit yet, but Empower Girls.
Yeah, so there honestly has been so many mentors in my life, like my mom, my sister, my grandma, and my dad and my siblings. But the main, like I'll say the main one for me currently, is my Aunt Rennie. She's a journalist for a local news station here in Pennsylvania, and basically I always looked up to her growing up, and me and her are really close, and she's always kind of remained like a second, mom kind of a little bit.
Hmm.
And it was for her growing up. I always watched her on television and stuff, and always, she always empowered me to kind of, stay true to myself and, pursue my dreams no matter the situation. And basically, she's the reason why I started podcasting and journalism in the first place. So I would say probably her, but honestly, there's so many mentors in my life with my mom and my grandma, but I'll probably say she's probably the main one for me.
Yeah. And did your parents know and your family know you were going to start this organization, Empower Girls?
Like my family knew I was very passionate about this topic and everything, but like it kind of, I'll say, surprised them when I thought I started an organization, to be honest with you, because they of course knew I wanted to use my voice in this topic. And so basically, like they kind of knew I was like, okay, well, I'm thinking about starting this. Like I always told them my ideas and maybe starting something that involves it. But it really was once I launched it, they kind of like were like, okay, well, she just started an organization about this. So now we know. But they always knew I was always, very passionate about this topic
Right.
though, either way.
That's good. And then of course, you travel a lot, and while you're traveling, do you also do your Empower Girls as well, or no? Just that's your own personal time.
Usually it's really my own personal time. Like, I do also like if I have some free time when I'm driving or at the airport or stuff, I'll do stuff I need to do, so I want to do it. Like so like with stuff like that, but if I'm like out of town, I'm doing things, I won't do it. But if I have, some free time on a trip, I have nothing to do and stuff, I'll definitely, catch up on some work. But most of the time it's all like free time and personal
Right.
time.
And then, what is your advice for anyone who is struggling with mental health or going through things?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'll definitely say talk about it. Because with like I know with having a mental health, anxiety, and depression, it can be very hard to talk about it to your friends and family, and also going to a therapist or even meditating or journaling are major factors. But if you are struggling and don't really know what to do, um, I would totally recommend talking to your family about it. Be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling like this. How can you help me?
Hmm.
Yes, of course, having a support system around you, like your parents or siblings or your grandparents, is a major factor in your mental health journey. And from my experience, it did impact my journey as well, having people to talk to. So I'll definitely say talk about it. Don't be ashamed of it, and it's okay to be dealing with it because everyone deals with mental health in different ways. So I would totally just say talk about it to your loved ones and don't be afraid to really just ask for help when you need it.
Right. And what helped you get through it?
The thing that helped me get through it. Well, to be quite honest, I'm still dealing with that personally, how to get through
Hmm.
this personally. But it's some things that really, helped me was watching some of my favorite movies has helped me stay positive. Try to get distracted by going on walks or runs. I'm a big walk and runner. And so basically, maybe sometimes I'll go on a walk or run, or maybe go out with some friends or something. But personally, if I'm like home, I have nothing to do, and I'm dealing with maybe a panic attack or something, I always just try to put on some music, some of my favorite music, and turn on my favorite movies, or even put on TikTok because some of them are just hilarious and always make me laugh hysterically. So
Right.
it always depends how, like,
And
how.
also, pardon me, you also did a run on Thanksgiving, correct?
Yeah, like a walk, run, yeah.
And how was that? Was that your first time?
Yeah, like, I did like a walk run before. Like I walked by my team at Foodidity. I walked half and ran a tiny bit, not much, because my health has not really made me, run that lot and help me train. So I was preparing to run, but due to my health, it really,
Hmm.
didn't, lead me to it. But I did run a little bit and walk a little bit. But it was honestly a very fun time. I went to spend time with my coworkers and one of my friends. So, and it was honestly a great way to, spend Thanksgiving morning with some of my favorite people and to raise money for great causes like my work at Foodidity and stuff. So it was honestly, a great time just raising money for some great causes.
And how long was the, I mean, runnings, but I know you walked and ran, but how long was the whole thing?
Total, it was about 3 hours. Like 3 hours totally. Like it was about.
And it was cold, right?
Oh, it was cold, like 40 degrees. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad that it could be, but it was, it wasn't bad after you started walking and everything. But before that, I was absolutely freezing.
Right. And there was a lot of people there, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's a ton of people. Like there were, I think, about almost over 300 people that signed up for the race and run. So it was a really great turnout, a lot of people, and I think we raised a lot of money so far. So
That's great.
I still have to figure out how much money we raised. I probably will text my boss after this and see how much we raised. But I think we definitely raised a lot for us.
Was this for your organization or for something else?
It was for my works organization and some other organizations locally.
Hmm. And do they do this every year?
I think this year was actually their first year of doing this.
Oh wow. That's and then the first year, was this at a big park or just
Yeah, it was at like a local kind of big park. It was at like a local convention little center, community center, and it ran to basically the 3 miles. You ran around a park. So basically it's a big park. So basically we ran around that. So it was a good, 3 miles around it. It's one of the nicest parks, in Northeast PA. So it's honestly was beautiful to kind of walk it and see, what I was about to be. So I never walked that park
mhm.
all the way before. So it was honestly, very beautiful.
Oh wow, amazing. So back what I was didn't mean to cut you off, but back what you were saying is what kind of music helps you um calm down or because I know everybody's different. For me it's music. But for you, what kind of music, I'm just gonna name some names like Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, or Celine Dion or Kelly or I'm just naming names or Pink, but what kind of music helps you or what kind of style and what helps you in that moment?
Yeah, like I'm a big, country music and pop music fan. All of those. I've been a bunch of pop and country music concerts over the last couple of years. So there's honestly so many, but the main ones for me personally is Keith Urban. I love Keith Urban. He's one of my favorite people. Seen him in concert a couple times. Walker Hayes, Elvis Presley. I know like a big oldie there, but
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley. I know he's kind of like an oldies type of artist, but I do love his music personally. If you see my latest post, he was part of it in the first picture. So just know I made his first picture, but that really shows. But who else I like? I'm trying. I know I have some more. I just can't think of it, but really, it's like Keith Urban, Walker Hayes, Elvis Presley, and there's one more. In a little bit like recently, Tim McGraw also. Been loving Tim McGraw as well. But honestly, there's so many, but those are really the main ones for me. But mostly, Keith Urban. That's really helped
Mhm.
me for
And they
all
help you, they
good
help you
times. And
stay.
also, yeah, and also I can't forget the one and only Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's all. I met him a million times. The sweetest human being on earth. Like I can't forget the name him. His music integration man is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
So
I remember you
he's
told me
my
last
favorite.
time, but you met him so many times in New York.
Yeah,
You went all the way there for that, right?
yeah, all the way to New York to see him. Yeah, 2 hour drive.
Right. And I noticed recently your trip you went to Times Square or not Times Square,
Mm-hmm.
the train station uh and all that stuff, and that was your vacation to see all the statues, is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yeah, like I went there. It was a very last minute trip, but me and my father went down for the day and went to see, all the things that we didn't really get to see. Because of course going to see Hugh Jackman, we really didn't really do much besides seeing Hugh and walking around Times Square mostly and stuff. So we just kind of, devoted a day to kind of, go see different things that we didn't see, which was pretty cool. And it was honestly a very good day, besides it being a little chilly, I have to say. But it was a very cool day seeing everything that we didn't see. And I'm a big New York person, so even if I've seen it already, it never gets old.
The Greatest Showman, right?
Greatest Showman, my favorite movie of all time, guys. My
How
favorite
many
movie.
times how many times have you seen it?
Too many to count, I have to say. Too many to count.
Does that movie help you get over your anxiety and helps you with
Mhm.
your mental health?
Yeah, that movie has helped me so much, or any Hugh Jackman movie has helped me. Maybe sometimes when I'm dealing with anxiety or having an anxiety attack, my mom is always like, "Oh, Chris, go turn on a Hugh Jackman movie. You'll feel better." I'm like, and when I turn on a movie, I'm like, I'm just in my dreamland. Like any Hugh Jackman movie always helps me, or any Gina Davis movie will help me so much. But The Greatest Showman has helped me for basically
Mhm.
all my rough times. And whenever like see the songs come up or scenes, I'm always saying the words, and people get annoyed at the lyrics. But all that movie just is your favorite movie. But like to go back to that question, it really
Right,
has helped me
right.
through so much.
That's amazing. Now, I went a little off topic, but it's okay. But your Empower Girls. I noticed it's, and you can correct me, but you're mainly focusing on ladies as more
Mhm.
than men. And I know many people who may be wondering why. So why is that? And if you can correct me, is it just because you're? I'm noticing that there's not many women out there being in charge of organizations, or what's your reason? I'm pretty sure a lot of audience are probably wondering.
Yeah, like the reason, that's a very good question you asked. The reason that I spotlight so many women because I want people, especially young girls, have role models in so many things. Because
Hmm.
of course, with my Spotlight Women series I have on my Instagram stories and events and everything, I just want young girls to feel inspired by so many people. Like, for example, for my Spotlight Woman series, I have many founders, advocates, athletes, and everything that I spotlight. So, I always try to, spotlight so many women as possible, whether it's through events, or just about Spotlight Women series, because I just want women to feel inspired to go into a career field, and also have a mentor like through or feel inspired by these people by their work. So that's kind of like the reason that I wanted to do this, because of course with me, I didn't really have a role model on screen. I had some in real life, but I kind of didn't find some on television or anything. So basically I kind of wanted my organization to kind of be like that and kind of have, have young girls and women to have role models through that are in different industries and to
Hmm.
go into different career fields, to really just kind of get an idea what it's like for them in different career fields like sports, podcasting, all of these different career fields, kind of get an idea of what it's like and maybe have maybe themselves go into those career fields. So it really is all about making them feel inspired and seen for different people.
That's amazing. and and so you're hoping that, like you said, inspire a lot of people, a lot of young women, a lot of girls. And I noticed, do you hopefully hoping to inspire, when you say inspire young women, that you're hoping that a lot of women will be in charge of organizations in the future. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And I know it's, recently, not recently, but you have your favorite baseball team and you interview your favorite baseball player. And um, how do you find these women athletes and women to help, get on your show, if you mind me asking, and, help them have their give their testimony, how to also help other young women out there, including yourself, but other people to be empowered.
Yeah, like mostly with for example, with the Empower Women series, well, the Spotlight Women series I do on my organization. Like I basically I try to spotlight mostly the people that I know personally that I had on my podcast or the people locally near me. Like I recently spotlighted my one seriously one of my favorite people, Clancy Harrison, which is a founder of Food Dignity Movement, which I'm doing a fellowship at and a media specialist for. And she's just one of my favorite people of all time. I love her so much, and her work and everything she is doing so inspiring. But to go back to that, like I basically, choose all the people that I know personally, and also choose different people that I never met before, And so really just, spotlighting different people, because of course I want to interview some of my favorite people personally that I look up to, like I did on my podcast. And stuff. So it really is, choosing different people on social media, whether it's like my Clancy Harrison, or Caitlin Ways or Madison Watkins. Like I never met them before. Most of the basically 99% of the guests I had on my podcast I'd never met before. Besides, the Spotlight Woman series from Power Girls.
Hmm.
So I really, with the Spotlight Woman series, I always try to spotlight people I know personally, and also, really spotlight people that have amazing stories. So the way I really reach out to them is by social media and be like, hey, like I hope you're well. Like I really would love to spotlight you on this series. I think you'll be amazing fit. And everyone will be like would definitely say yes at the top of
Right.
the bat. Which is
100%.
great, and basically with people that I know personally would love to do these, and I always kind
Hmm.
of keep people in mind that if with different opportunities, because I love to spotlight people in different many opportunities, whether it's like people locally here in northeastern Pennsylvania or somewhere in New York or California. It's always different ways. So I always, try to email them or text them on social media to connect with them. That's how I usually mainly get my guests to send them an email or send them a text on social media.
Right. That's true. That's a good idea. Now my last question is, I don't know if you go to public school or not, but homeschool, but how does your if you go to public school, how does your friends find out, or if they know about you doing this Empower organization, how do they feel? Like do they must be, not jealous, but I'm just saying they must be really proud, and or how do they find out? And were you hoping your friends will find out about this, or were you just hoping to keep it a secret because you didn't know if it's going to turn out as great as you thought until now? I mean, you didn't think you'll make it this far.
Yeah, you're right. I honestly didn't think I'd make this far, to be completely honest with you. But honestly didn't really talk about it to people once I first started, 'cause I didn't know like where I was gonna go and everything. But now, since I've been doing this for 2 years, like my friends, especially my closest friends around me, are super happy that I'm doing it, and always, cheer me on when I'm doing posting stuff and everything, send me personal messages. And even people some that I don't know, but I know who they are, send messages to me, be like, hey, you're doing is amazing. Like even someone said that locally that goes to like my local public school says like, oh, we're talking about starting a podcast, me and some other people, what some advice, we'd love to have you on. And I got some of those messages before, which is so cool. And everyone around me personally with friends or even some people that I don't know locally have been really supportive, um and this really are the biggest people and supporters in this world. Like I didn't expect to, get this amount of support from family and friends
Mhm.
from on this small platform that I created that I didn't think will last 2 years later. Like I didn't think it would last this
Yeah.
far. So really the reactions from my friends so far that go to school with me or that don't go to school with me, like it really had to remain very positive and supporting, which is very overwhelming to me because how much support I'm getting from people. But I couldn't be more thankful though, because at first I was like, what are people going to be react to when they hear about what I'm doing and everything? I try, kind of keep it and like low unless people ask about it or if people say, oh, what are your interests or something. I always kind of keep it, low because I kind of wanted to kind of be treated like a normal human being. Because of course,
Mhm.
even with having these videos and everything, some people might not think, oh, she's famous. She's interviewing a lot of these famous people, like well-known people. Like she's this very, well known. for say. Like everyone, who
Hmm.
knows who she is. But that doesn't mean I still have a normal life. Even if I do, like let's just say like you're interviewing me or some other people, that doesn't make you a celebrity. You're still a human being, even though
Right.
you interview so many people, for example. So basically, that was a big thing that I kind of worried about and still worry about it to this day. But I really couldn't be more, thankful on, just where I've been getting from my loved ones and close friends.
No, amazing. And I love supporting your organization, and you made it 2 years. So keep it up, and I do appreciate you, like I said, coming on my show and for the third time. And I just, I will always want to have people know more about you and your organization, and I believe that people should know about your organization because you're talking a lot about mental health, and
Mhm,
mental health is very important. And
mhm,
I like myself, I'm not afraid, I'm not ashamed of talking about it, but I do suffer depression. But it's good when I like myself who mentioned it, but also it's good for you. And I know you're still struggling, but it's good that you're talking about how you can handle it, music or watching a movie or going for a walk. For me, it's going for a walk as well. But it's good that both of us are coming on here and talking about this because we never know. I say you and I, but we never know we're helping somebody out there who's going through some things, and that's what I want to say. So thank you, and and keep it up. And you're helping a lot of people, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Like, you're everything you're doing is absolutely amazing. And I really appreciate you taking time to have me on. It means so much. I'm super excited to come back on here again. It's always an honor to be back on here. And thank you for sharing your journey. It's very inspiring.
Yes, and you're always welcome to come back on. So thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thanks so much for coming on. I like for well, me come on. I always say thank you for coming on my podcast,
No, it's
but
okay. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I look forward to having you back again soon.
yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Bye bye.